I've always been very deeply unsettled by dinosaurs. I mean, the idea that a giant reptile that could have easily killed you ever walked this planet is scary enough, for me at least. But most people seem to not realize how horrifying, you know, dinosaurs truly are. The main point of this video is to try to convey the truth that dinosaurs are genuinely horrifying. And I'll be going over a few things that brought me to the same conclusion. Let's skip to the main point. If you saw a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex right next to you, you too would be scared. But that's too simple in my book. I feel like anyone would feel that way if it was with something as scary as an apex predator, as large as a T-Rex. For example, polar bears, rabid lions, even leopard seals, they could all tear us apart. We'd be horrified to be right next to one. Maybe not to the same degree of a giant T-Rex, but we would still have that feeling of hopelessness and realization that, oh, I'm probably dead. One thing I find so incredibly scary about dinosaurs are the sounds they make. For example, this is the most up-to-date sound of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah, it's almost nothing like what a T-Rex from Jurassic Park would sound like. And that makes it so much more terrifying. T-Rexes don't roar. They release a deep, booming rumble similar to those of birds we had today, but also probably one of the farthest things from it. I mean, you could feel the vibration in your body. Imagine walking the woods in prehistoric time, and you hear that right behind you. It's almost like most of the fears that we don't belong. I mean, no animals that us as humans have lived with are that large, predatory, and alien. So when we try to imagine ourselves in these deep forests with giant predators lurking around, we feel out of place. Like, we're the aliens. Here's another example. This sounds just as, if not more, unsettling. What if I told you that this belonged to a Parasaurolophus, a herbivore, which is thought to have been quite peaceful? Even the creatures that don't serve a threat to us scare us. That brings me to my next example: size. The sheer mass of some of these creatures is already enough to scare someone. Here's a personal story. Whenever I visited the Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., I noticed a very large, realistic model of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it looked like this. This thing scared me so bad. Not only was it due to the sheer size of this creature, but it was also because of the way it looked. Its eyes appeared to be so alive and aware, and it looked like I was staring at a real, living T-Rex. That's already scary when it comes to real apex predators. For example, if a bear looked at you in the middle of the woods like that, you would either sprint away or freeze with fear. Either way, you know you're probably in an immense amount of danger. This T-Rex, though just a statue, seemed to do the same thing. Not to the same degree, but it was there. It wasn't the statue that scared me. It was the fact that the more I thought about it, the more I came to realize how horrifying these creatures truly are. So when I look back on it, all I can remember is the strong amount of fear I felt staring back at that model. But where does size come into play? Even though the size of the statue was a big part of what made it scary, it was mainly the fact that a T-Rex is a predator. It's built to kill things like you and me, and more. Large things. But even peaceful dinosaurs can be horrifying. Take the Argentinosaurus, for example. Seeing this in movies is a breeze, like most things. But if you were to see this in real life, it would make you freeze with fear. But what makes giant things so much more scary is that they have the ability to kill you, which is why someone would feel more fear if they were next to a giant T-Rex than an Argentinosaurus. Let's look back at the T-Rex. All these factors make up the T-Rex: the fear of sound, the fear of size, and lastly, the fear of sheer ability. But the last thing that makes this creature so terrifying are the unknown factors. Not what is unknown to scientists today, but what will be unknown to someone being hunted down by such a creature. I want you to imagine yourself in the woods, 68 million years ago. Hundreds of unknown noises, both loud and quiet, overflow your sensory images. Then everything goes silent. Not even the insects are making noise. This is a clear sign, even today, that a predator is close. A monster that shut up every other predator in the area. A T-Rex, only about 100 feet away from you. But in which direction? How could you know? You'd think you would hear the booming of a T-Rex stepping toward you, but they most likely have padded feet, effectively deafening their steps in order to not scare away prey. The only thing that would signal where it was would be the snapping of small trees and twigs. You would hear its faint guttural calls, and by the time it was 30 feet behind you or in front of you, you'd be able to feel it too. The last thing you would ever experience alive would be the calls of a T-Rex, while it's illuminated by the light from the moon, his teeth chomping down on you, effectively killing you instantly. It doesn't seem so scary when you watch things like Jurassic World or anything for that matter, because, well, no one really knows how to capitalize on that true horror of dinosaurs. And that's simply because no one can replicate the real thing. No one can copy what it would feel like to have a bloodthirsty Tyrannosaurus staring back at you with intent. Neither can they replicate what it would be like to be stranded in the middle of a prehistoric environment, with just the sounds being enough to terrify someone. Something that makes dinosaurs so interesting is that they're so hard to believe. Even though we have factual proven evidence that they're real, it's still so alien to us humans that it takes a lot to actually imagine being scared by them even. Most things only scare you because death is a factor, but dinosaurs have this ability to make death seem sort of obsolete, like it's going to happen no matter what, so why be scared? Well, the reason you'd be scared is due to all that we just went over: the sounds, the size, and what we don't know or expect. When you expect something to happen to you, usually you come to terms with it, but not knowing when or how makes it so much worse. It could be in front of you, it could be behind you, it could be anywhere. And by the time you know, it's most likely too late. Before this video finishes, I want to focus on the sounds just a bit more. These are what mainly inspired me to make this video. Something about them genuinely unsettles me. I've already brought up different answers to this one. One of them being that we as humans have never heard it, and is therefore alien to us, but some theories suggest otherwise. Whenever a T-Rex calls or rumbles, you just don't hear it, you feel it as well. As said before, this is supposed to serve as a warning sign for our bodies. Our brain takes this info and tells us that we are in danger. It's unknown, but the T-Rex likely used this sound as a benefit to itself. It sends the prey into a sense of panic, which leads them to being half confused and scared. Should they run, fight, stand still, or hide? They'll have almost no time to think about these options, and will end up staying still in a state of fear and shock. But either way, they would have the same outcome. If they fight, they'd be fighting one of nature's strongest animals. If they ran, they would reveal themselves even more, and they wouldn't be able to keep such a pace faster than the dinosaurs long enough. And hiding was almost pretty much useless. They had snouts, and they had eyes. They could simply just look for you. Then what? Nothing. So, in conclusion, coming in contact with a Tyrannosaurus Rex is probably the end. There's nothing to do, and along with the horrifying tactics that they use to kill you, it's probably one of the scariest things someone can experience, in my opinion at least. So, let's be thankful these creatures lost to history. As always, bye-bye, and I'll see you next time.